Hello, 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 all of my lovely friends. How are you today? This is Jan of Jan Hicks Creates, and I am thrilled that you are here. Welcome to the new ones, to the people who've been around here for a long time. I appreciate you being here, and I hope you enjoy what I have to show you today. And oh my God. Now it has been 2 weeks, but lots to talk about today, lots to show you. It is September 16th, Wednesday, 11:38 a.m. here in San Antonio, 85 degrees. How are you guys doing? How have you been the past 2 weeks? We've been good. You know, we went to Phoenix, saw my father-in-law, picked up our little red car. Father-in-law's doing good, all things considered. I hate leaving him alone, and he is really alone. It tears my heart leaving him. But we did come back last Thursday, left there Thursday, drove to El Paso, stayed overnight there the first night, and then on to San Antonio. Boy, that second half of Texas. Well, I guess El Paso is pretty close to New Mexico. Driving across Texas is a long drive, especially considering we had just done it a month ago in the RV. So it's a lot harder in a car. Don't have all your stuff. Can't stop any place to just go to the bathroom. Have to get out. Don't have the food right there with you. I love our RV. So I am back. I have finishes. I have so much stuff to show you. I am revamping my floss storage system again. Goodies galore, and then the giveaway to share with you, and tips and tricks. So much to get started. So much to share with you that let's get started. Right. I did put my son's painting back here. My son Ben, if you've seen me on my posts, my sharing his stories on Instagram, on Facebook, he is doing some new artwork, and this is one that we've gotten. So I thought I would put it back here so you have something else to look at rather than just me. Eventually I will have some cross stitch back here. But you know, instead of just the coffee pot, you have something else to look at. So what else is happening? I had a wonderful Zoom get together with my friends in Hawaii on Sunday. We did our usual Sunday afternoon get together. We're gonna start doing those monthly again. I miss you guys. It was so good to catch up with you and find out how you all are doing. Stay safe out there. I think about you guys a lot. So let's see. I have finishes. I have, oh my God, just so much information. So much information. So let's get started. First, I'm just tickled to death. I made it onto the XStitch app. Now you guys know that I use the XStitch app for all of my inventory, but I haven't been putting my own charts in there. You know, when I'm stitching the model, I'm not keeping them in the journal there because I wasn't a designer in there. But somebody asked a question on my Facebook group about what do you do if the designer isn't in there? And one of the oh so helpful ladies mentioned that if you go into the settings, whether you can see this, it's down here in the XStitch app, there is a place where you can request the developers to add new designers. So I thought, you know, I should write them and ask them to add me. But I did a search first. The last time I had checked, I wasn't in there. I'm in there now. I feel like I've made it. Okay, so this is the main, like, under inventory, charts, threads, linens, beads. Click on charts. Click on browse charts by designers. So this is my inventory of all of my charts. So I'm going to go in here where I browse by designer. There is a search bar, so I can click on that and I will type in Jan. Oh my God, look. Jan Hicks Creates and Jan Haltman. Jan Hicks Creates. Let's see what all charts I have in there of my own. There we go. I have made it into the XStitch app. Get rid of the keyboard. Woohoo! I am so thrilled. So, it's the little things in life. Let's see. I do have a new pattern out. It is called Filigree and Rose. So that is that. I have made this as a monochromatic pattern, but of course you can use any floss, any colors that you'd like. I think the stitch count, if I remember correctly, is like 169 by 55 maybe. It's not huge width. It is a little long. So that is that. And the links will be down in the description box as always. More links. Pat Bell is now Pat Stitches on Flosstube. She started a Flosstube channel. If you recall, Pat is one of the ladies that I interviewed back in, I don't know, earlier this year. I don't remember when. But she was one of my interviewees, and she got a lot of compliments on her interview, a lot of her friends encouraging her to start her own channel, that they loved what she was showing and they'd like to see more. So Pat did start her own Flosstube channel, and it is called Pat Stitching. Now this is a little plug for me as well, because she does show my flourish, my seasonal flourish patterns. So you will see those as completed by Stitched by Pat on her channel, but she has other just gorgeous, and she's also a very accomplished quilter. So I encourage you to check out Pat and her channel. Very lovely, lovely projects. And congratulations, Pat. I would also like to give a shout out to Lynette Peters. Lynette is, she's an accomplished knitter and sewer and quilter and stitcher. I mean, Lynette does all the things. She probably crochets too, right, Lynette? I first met Lynette on Instagram, and we kind of hit it off because we both like these big, complicated projects. She also does smaller projects. Lynette does everything. She is so talented. And she had mentioned to me a while ago that she was thinking about publishing some of her designs. Now, if I recall correctly, Lynette, you have some quilt patterns out there that have been published, and a knitting pattern too. Am I remembering that correctly? But she decided to venture into the cross-stitch world and start publishing those patterns. And Lynette has done a very interesting twist on combining quilting, specifically hexagons and cross-stitch. And I'm going to take you to her Etsy shop. And again, her shop will be linked below. Pat's Flosstube channel will be linked below, so check those out. So this is one of Lynette's patterns. Now, she did share a couple with me. I have not stitched them yet. They are in my mind to get started on. This is called Blue Heart Tree Cross Stitch and English Paper Piecing Design. So she is combining her love of English paper piecing with these hexagons and cross stitch. So that is one that she shared with me. The other one she shared with me is called the Lacework Cross Stitch Table Mat. Let me see if I can get this to go to the next page. Nope. Come on. So that's a close-up with the English paper piecing. And she has then sewn it onto a longer piece to make it a table runner. And then that's a close-up of the cross-stitch piece. I, of course, will only be doing the cross-stitch because I am not talented like that with the sewing. And I don't need another hobby. Thank you very much. But Lynette has some other gorgeous designs. She does have some that are just cross-stitch, such as that, and then other ones that combine her love of the English paper piecing and the cross stitch. So I encourage you to check her out. I am sure she will be adding more and more and more patterns. These are PDFs that she's selling, as far as I know. They all say digital download. I don't believe she is selling them as hard copies. But again, her Etsy shop will be linked below. Congratulations, Lynette. I'm very excited for you, and I think your style and your ideas are very unique. So I hope you have much success with those. Okay, let's see. Where shall I go next? Okay, that's all of the kind of announcements, the new stuff. I am going to save the announcement for the winners at the end because I have something new that I got in that I will be including in today's giveaway, so all that's kind of going to go at the end. Finishes. So, monthly magazine challenge. I need to find a picture of this. Their challenge for September was a fall piece from a magazine, and I had chosen this pretty little piece from, I believe it's the winter 2014 issue of Sampler and Antique Needleworks Quarterly. Now, if you have been with me for any length of time, you know that oranges, yellows, they're not my favorite colors. And you know, I have no fear of changing. So this is what I came up with. Mine is definitely more of a summer. It does have a little kind of whitish, bluish pumpkin on it though, and another one up here. Yeah, not real fall vibe going on here, but that's fine. I loved stitching this. This is all done in Threadworks silks, not Threadworks silks, Thread Pickers silks. Thread Pickers is a company in the UK. I just picked a variety of colors that I liked. It is stitched on 36 count parchment fabric by Weeks Dye Works. I loved working on this. I loved seeing the colors come to life. There is one of the little, getting out of focus here, one of the little acorns, the Queen Stitch acorns here. Yes, very non-traditional colors for an acorn. I have to admit, I actually thought it was a butterfly until I looked back at the picture and went, huh, that was supposed to be an acorn. Oh well. So, that will be finished into a little pillow at some point. I still haven't gotten thread for my sewing machine yet. I'll get there. I haven't made it to the cross stitch store here yet either. Maybe this week, maybe this weekend. I also finished Christmas Bouquet by Cedar Hill Cross Stitch Designs. Now, you know, these are the ones that I have fallen in love with. They are out of print. They are hard to find. I have several of you who have become my suppliers. I can't get this to uncurl because I have not ironed this yet. I don't know what it is about their designs with the alphabet behind the flowers. Somebody has a new design out. I don't remember who. I saw it probably on 123 Stitch that is similar. Alphabet and flowers. Oh no, I know what it was. It's another thing I'll be showing you later, something new. I don't know what it is about this style, but I love it. So yeah. I will frame this, or I don't know, maybe do some kind of magnetic thing so I can switch out the different seasons, since I have so many of these patterns now and more coming. But love this. So the little holly berries are Smyrna stitch. The pine cones were supposed to be French knots. I actually made those Smyrna as well. They are done in number 8 pearl cotton by Weeks Dye Works. They were a pain in the butt to do. Mostly because the number 8 pearl cotton, of course, is thicker than DMC. And once you got kind of a bunch of them clustered together and you were trying to get down into the holes, it got to be kind of a chore at times. But I love the look. Long stitches for the pine needles. I adore this. And finished plenty of time for Christmas, right? I adore this. I adore this. So that is another finish. Go me. All right, what else have I been working on? Fat Quarter Shop's Prim Stitch series. Finished number 2. Got the frame all done around it and started number 3. 25 count Lugana stitched over 1 with the Aurifil cotton flosses. So, very sweet, very sweet. Love this. I wanted to say, got a lot of great comments on my Aurifil cotton review. A lot of you love the Aurifil flosses for quilting and think they're some of the best out there. So that was very good to hear. A lot of you agree with the fact that they may be nice flosses, but the price is a little bit exorbitant. In fact, one of you in Canada mentioned that for one spool in Canada, in Canadian dollars, it's $13.50. Yeah, no. One of you guys asked if I would do a review of various brands of black floss and their coverage. So I do have orders coming from both Fat Quarter Shop and 123 Stitch for Sullivan's, Cosmo, Sulky, Anchor. Well, I already have Anchor and DMC and Aurifil. So I am going to, once I get those, stitch up samples on both. I don't have any Ada here. So if I can get up to the cross stitch shop, of course I have tons of Ada in my in the household goods, but like I said, who knows when they're going to get here. Those are also going to be given away to you guys at some point. So I will get up to the cross stitch store or Joann's because I have to stop there and get some thread. I'll pick up some Ada because I want to do coverage for both 2 strands and 1 strand. Probably 2 strands on Ada, 1 strand on like 36 count, and then 1 strand over 1 on a Lugana, on the 25 count Lugana. So be looking for that video probably in a couple weeks. I mean, it's not going to be, I expect the flosses to be here this week. Both of those orders have shipped, but I probably won't get around to actually doing all that and filming it until next week. So stay tuned for that. I also had to laugh, you guys. No squirrel out here yet today. But when I said that, I didn't even think about squirrel and it actually being a squirrel. Oh my God, so many of you commented on that. I just had to laugh. He has been around here quite frequently, so I expect to see him again probably before we're finished here. So, just too funny. Let's see. So what else have I been working on? The Star Center quilt got a lot of love this past week. I really hope to keep up with this. That for once I don't put it down, but just work it along with other stuff. Of course, I'm not going to be totally monogamous, but to get this done before the end of the year. I love this. The colors are not showing up well at all. This is Jeanette Douglas Star Center quilt, the blue colorway. These are all silk threads, a mixture of Gloriana, Belsois from Classic Colorworks, several different ones. I don't remember all of them right now. So you can see I have the top done and I've started on the specialty stitches in the center. I will be working everything I can in here, so all the different inner borders until I have to move the scroll rods again. I do have this on my handy clamp scroll rod that I just got because I wanted to keep it fairly neat to show you guys how pretty it is. Now I have to comment. See what I did there? See that? Everybody looking? That's to hold me accountable. I do want to finish this, so I decided, I went back and forth. Should I, shouldn't I? Should I, shouldn't I? And I decided, you know something? I'm going to put 2020 on it. And hopefully that will keep me working on it so that I can get it done this year. Just so pretty. So yeah, loving that. Now the other thing that I worked on, and this was my in the car project, was part of my 3D piece. So this is just one piece of it. For those that are new here that might not have heard about my wild mad scheme, I saw a mixed media project on Pinterest, where else, that I absolutely fell in love with. And my brain, you know, it does weird things sometimes. And it starts to think, designing cross stitch as I am right now, it starts to think, how could I convert that to cross stitch? Would it work if I did it on separate pieces of fabric? I don't know whether I have a picture here handy to show you, because it's been a while since I saw that picture and had it in my photos. But I saw it and my brain just kicked into high gear about how I could translate it into cross stitch. And so I decided, what if I used separate pieces of fabric, stitched different parts of the design on separate pieces of fabric, and then fastened them all together? Would that work? It's not in here. That's too bad. And so this is something that has been percolating in my brain for a while. I finally sat down and started charting it a while ago. I still haven't finished all of the charting yet, but I do have most of it charted. I had to find it, so took a little break there, came back. Here I am. This is the piece. So we have a background with letters, this strip here with kind of a filigree thing, and then a still life down here. And 3 different pieces of paper, so 3 different pieces of fabric with different things stitched on them, and then melded back together as one with lots of gorgeous scrunginess going on there. Love it. So that's what got my wheels turning. It's not going to look like that. I can't get that kind of grungy look going. But this is my little filigree piece. This is a 38 count, possibly 28, or 32, possibly 28. I was going to count it when I got home and I didn't. Stitched with Weeks Dye Works, no, General Arts slate. So I do have the letters charted. I will get those stitched here starting probably this week. And I have the still life mostly done. I just have to tweak some of the colors. So I also got some stuff to like add to it. See how there's like flowers down there and gears. I got some stuff. It's in the shipment. So I don't know when that will actually all get put together. My plan is to mount this on a canvas. So I will have enough excess fabric that it will come around and I will fasten it on the back on the wooden parts of the canvas. So we shall see. I know a lot of you are anticipating this. I am working on it, I promise. Okay, so what else do we have today? That's all of my in progress things. One of you did ask me about the Vicki Clayton fabrics, how the undyed fabric compared to the dyed fabric as far as the holes are concerned. Now, if you remember, I got a piece of her undyed 40 count that is fairly see-through. You can see it's pretty sheer. The holes are fairly well defined, I think, on this. I also think that the holes are fairly well defined. This is a piece of 36 count. This is one of her mystery linens. I don't see a whole lot of difference between the holes. They might be a little bit plumper. You know, a lot of times whenever a dyer hand dyes fabric, the whole dyeing, drying, ironing process kind of plumps up the fibers a bit, and I think closes the holes a bit. It can have a tendency to change the count of the fabric a little bit, not a whole lot. I don't see a whole lot of difference between, I mean, other than the fact that it's a different count, I don't see a whole lot of difference between the holes in the undyed versus the dyed. So I did want to let you know I have ordered some silks from Vicki. Those, I don't know when they're coming. She kind of has a process on her forums where people will request a certain color. If you have been a customer of hers in the past and know her colors, you can request a color, and then other people will chime in and say they want some of it too. Like Believed is one of the ones I've ordered. So somebody had put that up and they say she offers both 6-stranded silk and single strand filament silk. So you can say, I want 2 6-stranded. I want one SSR, she calls them, for single stranded. And they come on the little spools. Once the count in her forum has reached 10 on the 6-stranded silk, she will start dyeing that color. What happens is she dyes them on the hank, and she can split that hank up then into 10 separate little spools. So that's why it reaches 10. And then the single stranded she can just throw into the dye bath with everything else. So you kind of have to wait until you reach that magic number before the kind of clicks over and she'll start dyeing. But anyways, I've ordered, I pay for it, they'll come eventually. So I'm looking forward to getting those. I did see Lisa Francis posted on maybe Friday Off the Grid that McKenna at 1884 Stitchery is going to be carrying Vicki's silks. I think 5 yards, 10 yard, maybe 5, 8, and 10 yard skeins. From what Lisa said, she's exclusive. Besides Vicki herself, McKenna will be exclusively carrying Vicki's silks. So if you want to get, look and see what McKenna has in stock and buy through her, it'll be a little bit easier of a process than getting it, doing this through Vicki. But I don't know what McKenna's inventory is going to be. It's all brand new, right? So, but you can check that out, 1884 Stitchery, for Vicki Clayton silks as well. As far as I know, she's not carrying the fabrics. I'm not sure. And I do want to say, Vicki kind of had a run on the fabrics. She noted in her forum that, this is like a week or so ago, after my last video, I believe, that she had a boatload of fabric orders come in. So she had to take a break from dyeing silks to do the fabrics. And I know a couple other people on Flosstube also mentioned her fabrics, and I did. And so she got a lot of orders. So I hope you guys are liking them. I think they're wonderful. All right. Let's go into tips and tricks first. Today I wanted to talk about a question that somebody asked me about. Basically, what do I do with my fingers when I am sewing in hand, doing the sewing method, stitching in hand with the sewing method? So, and basically the left hand, of course, for me, because I am right-handed. So, right hand has the needle and the thread, and I usually have my fabric in my left hand rolled up like this, sometimes with the wooden cat grime guard, sometimes without. I've mentioned before that the grime guard, if I have too much fabric and I have the grime guard on, it hurts my hand to hold it after a while. That may be totally because this is the hand that I landed on when I fell that was sprained. It is pretty much better, but it does tire out more easily, I think. The stress right in here in my thumb joint does tire out, so I can't use the grime guard all the times. But I pretty much always have my fabric rolled up, so I'm touching the back side. I also always have my thumb on my stitches. I use my thumb a lot to manipulate the fabric. And so when I'm stitching, I'm gonna put my glasses on. These aren't my stitching glasses. My stitching readers are higher in strength, but these will do. I usually have, of course, my thumb on top and my other fingers underneath. And so when I'm doing, I should have my overhead camera, but I didn't want to get it out. When I'm doing this, my thumb is usually manipulating the fabric. So I am pressing down with my thumb here as I'm bringing my needle through to help get the correct hole. Okay, and my forefinger is right underneath where the needle is going through, helping that process. I'm often bringing the needle down and it's bouncing off of my forefinger and going, so the needle comes down through, kind of bounces on my forefinger, and I'm immediately turning my finger up and my thumb is pressing down to bring the needle through. Alternatively, and I find I do this if I'm not really using the sewing method, like if I'm stitching, for instance, if I'm stitching this one, whoops, I'm about to lose the needle on this one, hold on. If I'm doing over 1 on like this 25 count, so I have my fabric all rolled up here, I don't use the sewing method when I'm doing over 1 stitching, because I find, I don't know what the right term is, but I find that when I want to come back up, it's just too close. Just going from one thread, it's too close. You know, one of the problems with stitching over 1 is your thread has a tendency to, or can have a tendency to, slip under the fabric threads and kind of, instead of being an X, it'll slip over and be up and down, right? I find that happens more if I try and do the sewing method, because what happens is let me see if I can do this and show you. So I'm basically separating that one thread from the weave of the fabric, and so the floss is more likely to slip under the thread and slip out of place. So I do use the stabbing method whenever I am stitching over 1 on one of these type of fabrics. And so when I'm doing that, I often find that my forefinger will gravitate to the top. It just, you know, doesn't matter, because I'm stabbing, you know, with just one hand. What's happening on this hand doesn't really matter. Now I do find again that I have to switch my forefinger under and over and under and over, because I do start feeling the strain in this area of my hand whenever I have my forefinger on the top. So, but sewing method, I pretty much always have my thumb under my forefinger right underneath. It's right down there, and my needle is just bouncing off of that and coming back up, and then I'm using my thumb to push the fabric down a little bit, so that the needle finds the hole better. So anyways, I hope that helps. Yeah, and that's tips and tricks today. So I wanted to mention, one of you in my video on the Aurifil floss review, one of you, Teresa, made a comment that I learned so much in this video, I would buy you a coffee. Now, I have heard of the buy me a coffee thing from other floss tubers, and I decided, you know, that's a good point, because I do share a lot of information. My basics of cross stitch videos, I think, have helped a lot of people. I've mentioned in the past the idea of joining Patreon, but I've decided against that, mostly because I am afraid that I wouldn't be able to keep up with it to honor the commitment that you would have made. I find Buy Me a Coffee to be a more informal way of, if you have learned something and feel like you want to basically pay me for it, thank me for it, Buy Me a Coffee offers you that opportunity, that possibility in an easy way. a non-committal way, if you will. Now you can, I'm just brand new. I don't know all the ins and outs of it. I do believe there is a way if you wanted to like pledge $5 a month, $3 a month, whatever, you could do that, but there's no obligation, basically. I know a lot of you, you may watch the ads on YouTube, you may not. I don't always. There are some ads that they're putting on there now that are like 5 minutes long. That's insane. I don't watch them. Now, I did hear at one point that if you watch 30 seconds that it counts. I don't know. So I may eventually turn off the monetization on my channel. Again, I don't know. But I did hook up a Buy Me a Coffee account for any of you who may feel that you want to just thank me for the information I'm sharing, especially like I said, the Basics of Cross Stitch series. If you've gotten a lot out of that, that opportunity is there. Or if you just want to like help offset the cost of postage for the giveaways, you know, whatever, no obligation. It is there if you're interested. Link down below in my show notes. So, let's do, I'm telling you, I still have tons of piles here. Let's do the floss storage conversion thing first, before we get into all the goodies. Okay, so I think I mentioned on a video, maybe my last video, that I am going to be changing up the way I store my floss because how I have it now is just too big for the RV. And I had a thread going in my Facebook group to get ideas, to share thoughts, and it was very helpful. I didn't take anyone's advice per se, but the information shared and exchanged kind of got my juices flowing for alternatives, and I think I have found something that I hope will work. So there was one of you that mentioned that you store your floss, and I do have the complete DMC set and multiples of most of them. And when I'm talking multiples, all right, there may be some that I just have single skeins, but most of them I have at least 2. Some of them I have 4. Quite a few I have 4, I would say, 3 or 4. There are some that I have like 10 skeins. So I have a lot of floss. So I needed something that can handle a lot without being too bulky. I know, that's asking a lot, isn't it? So one of you mentioned CD cases or CD sleeves. So went to Amazon, which is my go-to source for everything pretty much, but especially organization and thinking outside of the box, because that's kind of how you have to think when you're living in a tiny space like this. And I came across the CD cases. Now, this is one that holds 92 CDs, right? Little sleeves, right? I stuffed it full. So right now, I have my flosses, my Mrs. Sedas silks that I'm using for Pandemic. And all of these I have 2 skeins for, at least. This is my Jan's Pride, so I have multiple ones of those. So it's there, and I have it, you can see it's on both sides. So you can see each sleeve is a little bulky. I also put in here all of my floss for Farewell to Anger. So some of those are just single skeins, many of them are 2 skeins, some of them are much more, 814, I think I have 5 or 6 skeins, and of course the black is, I didn't put all the black in. It was so full, I mean, it was literally like this, and there's no way I could have closed it. So I said, okay, that's not going to work. This will work for smaller, this will work fine for my floss for Pandemic. I got more skeins of each one of these, so those will be going in here too, and this will work fine and still close. So this will be great for smaller projects. I found an expandable one. So much fatter, still very lightweight, still has the sleeves, and I think this is this might be 200 sleeves, pockets in here, and there's still some that are empty back here. You can see here's 814. It is bursting forth. But for the most part, this works. I only put the floss on one side, so the back side is empty because it was getting too bulky. But even with this, because it is still, even though it's wider than the other one, it's still cinched fairly tightly here. So even with this, like to get into some of these pages, this is just the excess floss. I still have the binder with the strands that I'm working with. I was thinking I would put it in here, that part in here too. I like the fact that the backing of the sleeves is kind of like a rougher, I don't know whether it's really a fabric, but it's a rougher weave so that the single strands of floss are more likely to stick to that when they're rolled up, kind of like a felt. I could possibly still stick the little felt pieces on here with my needle in it. But it's just kind of hard to get to still. But that doesn't answer for my complete collection, right? So I was going to get something like this for the complete collection that has more pages, and it has like 4 on a page, actually 8 on a page for front and back. But I'm glad I didn't, because again, the pages don't open well enough. So what I am getting for that are individual pages that go in a 3-ring binder. And the pages say you need to get the oversized binders with the big D rings on them. So that's what I got. It's just a regular school binder, right? So nothing fancy. King-sized zip tab. But you can see it has these great big rings. So that will mean when I have the pages in here, they will space out more. I can flip through them and I can access them better. And for my projects from now on, I'm going to see if they have smaller of the 3-ring binders for project pages. So my pages, I think, get here today or tomorrow. Of course, I don't have my full set anyway, but I'm hoping that will work better. Now, it does also have some files in here and some other pockets. So if I wanted to use something like this for a project, that would, for one of the bigger Haid projects, that would work well too, because there'd be room for the pattern and the fabric in here as well. So I'm hoping that will work and be a good option. Stay tuned. I, of course, will need multiple of those. There are 504, I think, colors right now. And like I said, I have multiples of pretty much all of them. So some of the colors will probably need to have more than one pocket. So I have no clue how many binders I'm actually going to need. Stay tuned. I hope it works. Somebody in the thread on Facebook said, I had posted pictures of my original intention for my floss, which was basically this kind of thing, only bigger, more like a square for bigger pages that had 4 each on it. And somebody posted, this looks like a suitcase. If you start needing suitcases for your stash, you have a lot of stash. And I started to think, a suitcase for my floss. That would keep it all contained. How would I keep it organized? Anybody have any thoughts on that? Organized and easy to get to, easy to get in and out of. Just a thought. At that point, I should just get the Annie's Keepers though. Except I would need, I think, 2 file things for that. I don't know. Still a work in progress, right? Okay. Now we are to the goodies section. Guys, so much. So much fun stuff. First, I want to start by thanking Kathy. Kathy Crossley is a viewer who lives in the Houston area, and she used to work in the cross-stitch store there, and she used to help them organize their charts. So she said she thought she remembered that they carried some of the Cedar Hill charts, and so she went and looked, and sure enough, she found some, and she sent them to me along with this pretty little note. That would make a gorgeous cross-stitch piece, wouldn't it? And I love that it's the envelope, it's all coordinated. So pretty. So pretty. The charts she found are Easter Bouquet, Bouquet for May, Wildflowers 2. I think I have Wildflowers 1 already. Or I have some Wildflowers. And Bouquet for July. Now, Bouquet for July, another Teresa, also found a couple. I think she found July, and was it March, Teresa? I could go and look at the note. I haven't. It was mine and Mike's birthday, so I think it was March. So I will have 2 Julys because July is Mike's birthday month. So I will be giving one of these away once I get that. Somebody else went to Stitchville and they bought, let's see, Doris or Diane, one of the ladies on my Facebook group went to Stitchville and they had a bunch there. I was gonna call and order more, but I think I may stop here. I think that's probably enough of these. Don't you think? I don't know. I'll have to look through the different ones because I might want a fall one. I don't think I have a fall one. Anyway, Kathy, thank you. So sweet of you. Many of you on my last Flosstube mentioned that Clover has the snag nabbit. They also actually call it the snag repair needles that are 2 sizes. I had mentioned that the one I had from Clover, no, this is Clover, Dritz, I don't know, was big and it was snagging my fibers when I tried to do it on Pretty Little India. So this one has a smaller one that many of you mentioned the pack with 2. Many of you mentioned that you use the smaller one with great success. So yeah, I ran right to Amazon and got that. While I was there, I also got some of these clips. Now these seem kind of small. I haven't tried them yet, obviously, but you know, to hold the fabric, like I said, these seem like small ones, so I'll have to see if they work, but I don't need this many, so be looking for those in the giveaway packages, the extras that I have. All right, now I joined 2 subscription clubs. I had stopped everything once we knew we were moving and didn't want to start until we got established here. But now we are established. I went ahead and joined. One of them was the Color and Cotton Fiber Floss Club. I think it says all colors 5-pack. I don't remember what I got. I don't think I limited it to just, you know, the prim colors or the bright colors. I don't remember, but these are what I got. So this is monthly. I think it's only like $12.50 for these. I am not going to do this for a long time. I have so much floss, so much Victorian motto, but I wanted to get more Color and Cotton. So this is what I got from them. I assume these are some of their regular colors. I am not sure. Pumpkin Patch, Purple Geranium, Caribbean, Lilac, and Celery. Look at that Caribbean. Oh look, it matches my nails. Woohoo! And the geranium, the two different purples, isn't that pretty? They actually, Color and Cotton actually are opening or have opened a brick and mortar store in, I believe, the St. Louis area. So if you are in that area, you can check them out. They do, I'm sure they do mail order as well, so that you can get their fabrics there and of course their flosses. The other club that I joined is kind of different, Fiber on a Whim. So I've been talking about them a lot. They have a monthly club called the Texture Club. Now I first found them on Instagram through their mixed media embroidery work. I was doing some searches for that at one point and came across them as a company. So I've been keeping an eye. I joined their newsletter and been keeping an eye on what they're doing. And of course, then they started dyeing the fabric for cross stitch. And so, as you know, I've gotten some of that. So I got an email that they were starting this texture club. And they build it as not necessarily geared towards cross stitch, but with trims and fabrics that you could use for finishing small pieces. And I thought I'd give it a try. So this is the first one that I've gotten. It's from September. They provide an idea card if you want to, if you want to create a mixed media piece. So they provide an idea of how to use what you've gotten in your pack. So that is for September, and they list what is included in it. So they have Osnaburg fat quarter, a linen fat quarter, and I do not know, I haven't asked, I need to do this, whether the linen is an even weave or not, or if it can be used for stitching, cross stitch, something like that, or whether it should just be embroidery, Pearl cotton, so this is their own dyed pearl cotton, burlap, cheesecloth, velveteen, rickrack, and voile. I don't know really how to spell that word or say that word. Voile, French stuff. So anyway, all of this then, so it's all coordinated, right? Their color for September is brick and spice. So this is the pearl cotton. You can see it's a pretty 2-3 toned thread. This is a size 5 pearl cotton, and it is, what did it say, 25 yards, so that's quite generous. So a skein of that. I haven't taken these apart yet because I wanted to do that here on camera with you. So this little package has the burlap, the voile, the velveteen, the rickrack, and the cheesecloth. So there's the rickrack. I just totally bumped you and knocked you out of sync. This is the burlap. The velveteen. And, oh, the cheesecloth. Well, this is the voile. Somebody here has to tell me how to pronounce that word. And then the cheesecloth. So, very, very cool fabrics to play with. And then they included the little pumpkin image that they have on their little idea card. And so this is this has been ironed onto or transferred onto printed on some kind of fusible web stuff. Fat quarter of Osnaburg. think having the white background gives you a better idea of the real color of it. And then this is the fat quarter of the linen. And I'm gonna have to ask them if it's if it is an even weave or not. Whatever it is, it's gorgeous. I mean, totally not my regular colors, right? But it is a gorgeous piece. So, let's see what I can do with that. So that is from Fiber on a Whim. This was, they had an early bird sign up where it was only $20 for all of this, but I think their regular price is still only, I don't know, 25, 20. I mean, it's still, I think for everything you're getting, it's still a pretty good price. I know I'm figuring out where to put everything. All right. Oh, let me find, that's all the giveaway stuff. I'll be right back. Okay. I'm gonna hold you till last because you are incredible. I got from Fat Quarter Shop the Pumpkins for Sale piece that I'm going to be stitching for Stitchtober. They sent me along the called for fabric. This is 25 count barley, I believe is the color of the Lori Holt vintage cloth. Now, I may or may not use this. Part of me is thinking maybe I should try dyeing this. I certainly have enough tea and coffee here. Because I want something I think a little bit more rustic than just this fabric. They also included the DMC for it. I am not going to be using the DMC. One of you guys asked me in the last video if I'm going to be changing the colors. Yeah. Probably not a whole lot. I am going to look for some, probably go through my Victorian motto. Well, through my overdyeds, period. You know, I do store my overdyeds by color, not by brand or anything, because I don't care what brand it is. I care about the color. You know, when I'm doing a conversion like this, I don't care which brand I'm using. It's the color that matters. So, yeah, I'll be switching this up. The pumpkins may become white and teal pumpkins, because that's an awful lot of orange. Where did that go? Is this the linen? Like I said, I don't know if this is an even weave, and I may not care. If I change the color of the pumpkins? What do you think, guys? Is that crazy to use this fabric? That might be kind of fun, huh? Stay tuned. I'll let you know what they say. I'm gonna text the people at Fat Quarter Shop and ask. All right, so that's that. I also got, so I get the newsletter from a store called The French Needle. It is an online store. I don't believe she has a brick and mortar store. It is an online store in Maryland. And she does specialize in French designers, French, excuse me, whether it's Sajou or Sophie Dygard scarves or Helena Lebaret. She also has, excuse me, books there from Christina, I don't remember her last name. She is a German designer. But anyways, and again, all this will be linked below. The French Needle, this is Helena Lebaret's Christmas book. There was another design that had the letters behind the floral piece that, you know, there's just something about these that just thrill me to no end. And it was from here. Can you see see that? The letters are very pale, a pale blue with a Lenten rose design. Isn't that gorgeous? This is the on the front. I mean, just very kind of delicate Christmas designs. Now, I will tell you that as I was going through this, these things started to look more and more familiar. I think this came out last year in French, and she put it out this year in English, and I think I have the French version as well. Again, it's in my household goods, so I don't have it yet. But when I get that stuff, if I do indeed, well, Mike's back. If I do indeed have another one of these, I will be giving this one away. Do you want the French one or the English one? Okay. Oh, look who's home. Hello, I'm still going here.
Hello. Oh, great, then I can do my trick.
If you want to do your trick, put the groceries away first. It's only eggs. It's not like... I thought you got two. I thought we got eggs from that Imperfect Foods thing.
I don't think I did because they were expensive.
Oh, okay.
They were like $4 or $5.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And there's a segue. Actually, I wasn't remembering to mention this, but I will. Imperfectfoods.com. They are one of these companies that gets, you know how if there's imperfect vegetables, they don't make it to the grocery store because Lord forbid, you know, I guess a potato that isn't formed nicely doesn't taste the same, right? So a lot of times that stuff just gets thrown away. Well, Imperfect Foods, and I'm sure there's other ones out there as well, is a company that gathers, whether it's produce that is formed strangely or... He's so bad. Or they said, like, if labels have changed and a company doesn't want to continue to sell something with an old label, they'll get that kind of stuff. Hello. Oh my God. So anyways, this is something you order online and they deliver to you.
It's the little things.
It is indeed the little things that make us laugh. Thank heavens. So yeah, we're getting our first order of that. I think tomorrow is when it's being delivered. So stay tuned. I'll let you know what we think of that. All right. More. Yes, I have more. So my wonderful friend Raquel from Mrs. Sedas sent me a package. As Mike says, Mrs. Sadist. No, it's not sadist, it's Sedas, which means silk in Spanish because she is in Spain. So she has been searching for a faster way to get our silks to us. I mentioned before she moved from Madrid down to a town called Almeria on the southern coast of Spain on the Mediterranean, and once she got there she started to figure out a better way to ship so that things wouldn't take so long. And I was her guinea pig, which suits me just fine. So I don't remember the exact day she sent it out, but I think it took 5 days, if that, to get to me here in San Antonio. And it was wild. It's a company called Skynet, and which in itself is kind of, for those of us that are used to the Terminator movies, Skynet doesn't have the best meaning in the world, but that's okay. And Skynet passed it off to UPS. It went from Madrid to Germany, to Cologne, Germany. And then it said on the tracking, it was the 13th, it was in Germany, and it said, or was it the 12th? It said, yeah, it was the 13th. It said it would be delivered by 9 p.m. on the 14th. And I thought, you're in Germany. How are you getting here in one day? Sure enough, I got it the next day. So it couldn't have been more than 5 days from when she sent it. So I mean, above and beyond to get our silks to us. she also sent me some other goodies. What I had ordered was additional silks of what I'm using for pandemic. So a lot more black, and I have no idea, because I'm doing this in so many colors, I have no idea what I really need. So I just ordered one extra of all of the ones I'm using. Plus she has some ones that I didn't have yet. The like 71, 72, let's see, 70, 71, 72. Is there another one? I thought there was a 73 as well, but maybe not. But anyways, they're all neutrals. So I got those as well. So beautiful Mrs. Sedas silks. They smell so good. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So mostly solids. I did need another mojito, so that's what that one is. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. She also is now selling fabric. At this point, she's not dyeing fabric, but she does have some Zweigart fabric. So she sent me, these are fat quarters, I believe, yes, in 40 count mallow and 46 count Normandy. Or this is just, I guess that's just a plain white. So I hope she starts dyeing them. Raquel, are you listening? So anyways, thank you for those. You know, those will come in handy. She also sent me some thread conditioner, 2 things of thread conditioners, some of these peels that hold the fabric, some needle minders, and last but not least, a new colorway. This is called Toxic. Pretty appropriate, right? So it is oranges, reds, fading into yellows, greens. Now she's funny, she says, Jan, I know those aren't your favorite colors, and she's right. But what I think I might do is stitch up my new filigree and rose in this, separate it into the 2 colors. It smells so good. Oh, I don't know what she uses. It smells like coconut. And use that on that pattern. Now, this is 240 yards, and I would like to share it with you. I'm going to cut this up. I am not going to promise that each of you is going to get the exact same amount, but I'm going to cut this up and share it with 3 of you. So I don't know yet whether I'm going to cut it exactly where the colors change or in 3s like I normally do. I have to do some measuring and deciding. But if you would like to share some of this beautiful new Toxic thread with me, put in the comments, I would like some Toxic. Nothing fancy, just I would like some Toxic. And I will do a drawing on for my next video. So I expect to be back next week. Get back into kind of a normal routine again. So I would like some Toxic. 3 of you will get about what may or may not be about 60 yards, because that's what 240 divided by 4 equals, because I'm keeping some for myself, of course. So this, when I checked yesterday, this was not on Raquel's website yet. I would say if you're interested, go ahead and message her on her website and say, hey Raquel, when are you getting Toxic up on there? Pretty cool, huh? All right. Last but not least, more from Fat Quarter Shop. Let me see. Okay, so that stuff is all of that. We're gonna go with this. All right, so they sent me more stuff, and when I got the stuff for the Pumpkins for Sale pattern, they sent me more goodies for Fright Night. And I decided I'm including those in the giveaway from the last video. So they sent me the Fright Night project bag, so it says Halloween, some fabric for Fright Night. So this is the fabric flare. I assume this is the called for fabric. It actually doesn't say on here what it is. Whether it's a 25 count. It says hazy or, yeah, but it doesn't tell me a count. Oh, here it is, hazy gray, 28. I assume that's what that means. So that and the fabric, or the Weeks Dye Works for Fright Night. And then they also included the border for the Stitchtober cards, the mix and match. So what I'm going to do is add these to my giveaway. So I have the sewing one and the prim one, right? Prim and sewing. I have the mix and match, so this is getting added into that. And then the Fright Night, the additional one will be all of this. So let's go see who won. I haven't noted it on the comments yet. I will do that. So, sewing, this one. This goes to a new subscriber, Elizabeth Pendleton. So Elizabeth, get in touch with me. I will comment on your comment and with my email address, so you can send me your address and I will get that in the mail to you. Let's see, the prim one, where's prim? Hold on. The prim, this goes to Carol. Oh, and I hope I'm not screwing up your name, Carol. Carol Langevin, Langevin. You get the prim one. So Carol, again, I will be commenting on your comment with my email address for you to send me your address. And then the two Halloween ones, Linda Fisitola. Linda, hi. She's a long-time watcher. You get the Stitchtober. So Linda, I probably have your address, but just in case, I'll ask you to send it to me again. And then last but not least, the second Halloween one with all of these yummy goodies goes to Colleen Tennant. So Colleen, again, I will be commenting, send me your address and I will get that in the mail. All right. I think I've gone through all of my piles. I think I am ready to be done. This was a long one. Wow, lots to catch up on. So we end with the angel card. Again, Teresa Kogut's Angels. Look how pretty that is. I need to put my glasses on. She has music. Oops, my piles are sliding here. Hold on. Oh, for heaven's sakes. She has music on her dress. I need to see what it says. Rejoice, ye pure in heart. Lord, help me remember that nothing will happen today that you and I can't handle together. You guys doing good? I hope so. I hope you'll join me on my Facebook page. Not my Facebook page, my Facebook group. The page is more business oriented. The group is more community exchange oriented. So look for that. Jan Hicks Creates Stunning Cross Stitch Designs. We share everything. It doesn't have to just be my stuff. And that's where we help each other and we handle stuff together and we celebrate each other. And I love doing that because this isn't just about me, it's about all of us. And I hope you know that. And I hope you know how much I appreciate you being here and your support and your love. It means the world to me. You take care of yourself. I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon.